Hi friends, it's Christmas season 2025. Can you believe it? Every year December rolls around and I'm pulling out the tree. I'm like, hon, I say this to my husband, hon, I can't believe it's December. And we're always like, yes, where did the year go? But here we are. We're ready to celebrate and decorate. So go ahead and get a cup of coffee or cocoa. We're going to decorate today. I'm going to try to finish the tree. I already have it up, lit. This tree, I'll show you a couple little features about it, but let's go ahead and get some of our ornaments before we get started. Put the coffee down, but not far away. So this tree is an artificial tree, 7.5 feet. I love a real tree. Many years we've gotten a real tree. I'm going to go ahead and get my ornaments out. But yeah, we a lot of times get a real tree, but now we are in apartment living. And let me know how you do if you have an apartment. We're on the 3rd floor. In a couple of years, we did get a real tree. I mean, there's nothing like a real tree, right? But being on the 3rd floor, not so bad getting it up the stairs, but getting it back down once it's like starting to get dry and all the needles, yikes. So and we've put like a big sheet or tarp under the tree when we're moving it to help collect some of the needles, and that works like when you're taking your tree down and stuff. But you just live on the 3rd floor. It's hard not to have a big mess. So and I've been eyeballing this tree for a couple of years. I got this one at Walmart, and it has like a little it does have different light features, like, you know, stand clear, or you can have flashing clear. Let's see, what do I want to do next? It has color flashing, and then it has like a whole program that I think it does like 6 Christmas songs on there, and it has a little music box that it has this program, program, I can't think of the word, but it goes through this little programmed light display. So this year I'm doing mostly clear bulbs, slightly decorated gold, a couple of shades like a shiny and a matte gold, and then I'll do some white and cream. I might lean more toward the cream, we'll see if I have enough ornaments. And then well, let's walk over here. So I already have most of, hello, camera, follow me. It's not following me. Why not? Hello, follow me. There you go. I got stuck in a mode. Anyways, I have some of the those up already, and I made my ribbons. And I'll get you a close-up of the ribbons. Every year I do the ribbons a little bit different. So I decided I was going to do a little bit less. Sometimes I'll have big bows and have it loop out and weave back into the tree and do a different pattern of that. But this year I'm not. So let's go back to the colors. Gold, clear, white, cream, and then some browns. Now I got a pack of the velvet ornaments. They're really like trending right the last couple of years, but I made the mistake of not getting 2, and I only have 8 brown bulbs. That's not going to do, so I might have to jump onto Amazon and see if they could come to the rescue, because I searched Michael's and Hobby Lobby yesterday, and there were no more to be found. Bummer. So One thing I wanted to do on this tree was to do some brown, gingerbread houses, like for ornaments. So not like a gingerbread house, you know, a full-blown gingerbread house, but just a cookie cutter shape, and decorate those. I was going to do a task with my granddaughter, but time slipped away and we didn't get it done. So I don't know if I'm on vacation, so we'll see if I have time, because I really kind of had that in mind. Let me show you the ribbon I have. So it's like a burlappy type of material. This phone stand, it's a pain. And when you stand still after being in motion, it takes a while for it to calm down. But anyways, it's got pine cones and a little greenery on there. So white snowflakes. So I'm using that for my ribbon. And I'll put some more fillers. I think I counted 11 or 12 that I have on the tree right now. And then after we put all the ornaments. So I'll do bulbs. And then I will do a bunch of gold and white ornaments. So I'm kind of somewhat necessarily my theme. Like I've had different themes, but this is more of like a color scheme, not so much a theme. Well, except for I really did want to get those gingerbread houses. I wanted to do like a kind of just like an old-fashioned Christmas or something like that. But we'll see what I have, what I'm going to come up with. So I do have to finish my gold. Actually, let me show you some real pretty. I don't have them all here. Where did the hook go to that one? I made a bunch of homemade ornaments. It's like one of my favorite things to do on downtime. I love making Christmas ornaments. So this year, or this was many years ago, I made these. They're just the clear glass, and I took some gold tulle and stuffed that in that pretty iridescent bulb, and then with gold, the paintbrush I painted, I don't know if you could see it or if there's much of a glare. It says glory. So I did some with said glory, some said joy, peace, and I did a couple, maybe a dozen and a half of the gold, maybe two, couple dozen of the silver, and some with white. So I used like white tulle. And so this ornament is supposed to represent the tulle inside is like the breath of God, you know, and then it says glory, you know. It's like whenever he speaks, his glory is released. His glory is released no matter what, because that's who he is. He's marvelous, glorious one. And this is the season, right? He is the reason. Jesus is the reason for the season. Well, we know the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are one. So I love making ornaments. And then another one I did, I already have a majority of them on there. And I did all just the gold and white this year. But yeah, these took a long time because had to glue all those on individually. So little white pearls and then little gold sparklies. So I put those more in the inner tree. Let me see if I can get a little closer. But I get things in the inner of the tree because when the light hits and sparkles, it just brings you deeper into the tree and you get all this great reflection. So I always look like I stand back and look for little holes and patches and kind of put stuff in there. So I do have, I try not to lump them way too close together, but I use a lot of pipe cleaners, and let's see if I can, and then you can find these like at Hobby Lobby. They're these like evergreen pipe cleaners, and they work great on putting on. That's how I put my bows. And you can cut them in half if you need them smaller. But so let's just get to decorating. Now there's different methods as far as like how many ornaments and how many lights. Like if for a set, basically the rule of thumb is, I gotta stand back and look. So what I've done with the gold is I've done a layer shiny, the matte, shiny, matte, shiny, and I'm running out of shiny. I went through some of my ornaments last year and got them organized, and a lot of my gold ones were kind of old, like not even pretty old, because sometimes, you know, there's like a little bit of a patinaed look to them, but that was worse than that. So I had to get rid of some of those. And I was really trying not to buy too much this year. I did buy this ribbon new. I got that at the grocery bargain outlet. Can you believe that? I don't know if they have one of those near you. They have like some specialty things that are a little cheaper. And they have a cute little amount of Christmas stuff near the holidays. So this might take us a while, though. I'm a little bit of not a perfectionist, but I don't know. If you ask my husband, he'd probably say, yeah, you're too much of a perfectionist. Well, I'm not seeing exactly where I want this. Oh, let's put it back here, because I see a hole there. So when you're sitting down at night with your cocoa or your tea, and you're sitting on the couch, you're going to be looking at that tree, and you're going to, when you look into it, you're going to see all these nice sparkly, shiny things. This ornament that I have has a gold pipe cleaner. Oh, there we go. I like that. Now I got two of the matte kind of close to each other, but and then what I do is I come and I sit down and I look and say, okay, where can I? It really does make a difference. All right, so let's just get decorating. Let's just go for it. Enough of this yapping. I gotta get serious. It always takes me a few days to decorate, because you gotta pull everything out, decide what color scheme. And if you haven't seen any of my past videos, I do have a video, and I'm doing the back this year, depending on where you put your tree. Now, there's a lot of professional Christmas decorators that say even if your tree is in the corner, you should decorate the back, because when you sit down and you look at the tree, you can kind of see through, and you can see the sparklies of pretty bulbs and ornaments, even with that, which I agree. But this year I do have to decorate the whole thing, because I've never put it in this part of my apartment before. There we go. That's a happy little home. And I lost the hook for this one, so. Alright, shiny bright. Yeah, so now that my kids are grown, and especially when I do an artificial tree, I definitely put it up earlier, because it gives you more time to enjoy it, and there's just so much to do, right? So it's like you want to be able to enjoy it a bit, so that's why I've started pretty much doing it earlier. Now, if you're a baby boomer, like I am, you probably remember, like, growing up, we didn't put it up that early. Maybe you did, but we didn't put it up until maybe a week or two before Christmas. And maybe that's not how you did it at your house, so. But, of course, back then, I'm trying to think how much we had a real tree or artificial. It was kind of both back and forth. Of having a real tree. Now that I think about it, I think we had a lot of artificial trees. Of course, I can remember those 70s Christmases where we had those satin, remember the satin bulbs? They had them like in a primary blue. I'm trying to think what the colors were for those. So I mostly remember the blue ones, but there was red too. Now I am fussing a bit with this because I want to make sure I have plenty of room for the other ornaments, the hanging ornaments. And when I first took this tree out, I do want to remind you, I did fluff it. You know, it takes a good hour to fluff the tree. You want it to look nice. But yeah, we remember those satin ornaments. If you're a baby boomer, you remember that. Well, I got some ornaments here that are missing their hooks. Probably in the bottom of this box. So what I do is, you can kind of see here, I pretty much take them out of the bulbs, out of their regular containers. And like if I have a box and I use some bubble wrap, and then I just put them in there. And I always, well, I say always, it's not true. I learned the hard way. I put everything color coded as far as my ornaments in my totes. It just makes it easier, because then if there we go. There we go. But I have a tote with red and purples and one. I have a tote with greens and blues. So it just makes it easier. And on my totes, I label each side of, I take like a post-it note. Oh yeah, we got hooks on the bottom here. I take a post-it note and then I take a Sharpie and I'll mark green, blue bulbs or ornaments. And then I'll put the year that I'm packing it away. Sometimes it doesn't change because I keep them the same. But if I make any changes, I'll just cross out the old date and put the new date. Because sometimes you can have boxes or totes labeled a certain thing, and then you go open it and you're like, oh, that's not what that was supposed to be. And because if you get busy and you're just, well, let me just throw the stuff in this tote, and oh, that doesn't have a top. Let's throw this, I'm classic for doing that. I've done that in the past with a fall. I get like, oh, I just want to get this put away. So I put it in any tote that may be marked for Christmas and then, or spring, or 4th of July. So if I update something like that, I'll change the date. And I'll actually update the box before I put it away. I learned the hard way because it's such a hassle pulling everything out of the storage closet. It's a lot of work lifting those heavy boxes. So, alright, we need to go one down here. We need one right down in here. Oh, I was starting to tell you, now for lights with a tree, you pretty much need about 100 lights per foot. And it depends if you like it heavy or not, heavy lit. So this tree, I have a box. Let's see. Let me look at the box real quick. I think it's 540 lights, which that's not. I don't have my glasses on. I'll have to take a look at it. But I added another 500 lights. I had 2 rolls of 250. Because this tree, the color scheme, it really did need it inside lit up pretty good. Because I'll show you later. Actually, I won't do it right now, but I'll show you. I'll turn the inside lights and it makes the lights that I put on the tree are all through the middle part. And then the tree is already pre-lit. Those are mostly on the edge. Makes a big depth perception. It just gives your tree more interest. And like I said, I'll show you. I really like these clear lights clear ornaments that I made because they give you a lot of reflection. I'd put some Christmas music in the background. I have my TV on with one of those pretty scenes. It's got a cozy living room with a fireplace. And I have the volume all the way down because I was like, I don't think you can put it when you put it on YouTube or some of the platforms. Kind of copyrighted, so I was like, oh, I don't want to have any problems. So, all right, let's stand back. Let's look from different angles. I'm doing pretty good with this. I do have a guide I'm working on. I hope to get it out, but maybe I'll still get it out for December. And it talks about really the the amount of ornaments per foot, the amount of lights per foot, how many tips are on a tree, you know, because the more tips you have on a tree, you can put more ornaments. In certain kinds of trees, the different species of trees can hold a heavier ornament. I had one of those like cashmere type of artificial trees, and that does not hold. I forget how many tips are on there right offhand, but it does not hold stuff. Ooh. Now this one has a red bow that I like to put out on my tree every year because my daughter-in-law made it for me, or for us. It says the Bender's Christmas, oh, in Texas. This is when we lived in Texas. So I like to put that on there. And that's a pretty good size, so. I'm gonna look for a bit of a hole. Oh, how pretty. All right. So I pretty much have all my gold bulbs, which really, I thought I had more than that, but apparently I do not. But it works best if you get all the bulbs on and then the ornaments. So here's all my. I'm moving on to these bigger ornaments, iridescent ones. They are with the glitter snow in there. These are custom made, and I love to make ornaments. And then I have different size glitter, gold glitter balls in there. And you can customize your tree to, or your ornaments to whatever your theme is. Now, if I was to take these apart, if I was going to use these for something else, and I've done this, I take Ziploc baggies, like the sandwich baggies, and I'll put the whatever's in the bulb, I'll dump them into their own individual sandwich bag and then keep them in the tote with the gold ornaments or whatever color ornaments or whatever colors on the inside will go with that tote to keep it organized, because you can reuse them again. You don't want to dump it all into one bag because it's just a lot of extra work. I just put them in the individual. So what I'm doing is just looking for any big, holes or gaps, and that's where I'm going to put these. These are still kind of pretty much going toward the inside of the tree because I want my heavier ornaments. And I got a good space back here. And I'll pan around to the whole tree so you can get an idea. If you're decorating for the family, you don't want to do one of these elaborate trees. Do one for you if you love to decorate. I love to decorate, but it would be too stressful for the kids. They're like, no, don't put that there, put that there. Just let them, give them a little guidance and enjoy that. And we did that for many, many years. My kids are all grown. My grandkids are, the youngest grandkid is 14, so we're past that age of the kids doing the tree. And you want to do the front. Like I said, we're doing the front and the back. And I'm doing pretty good as far as filling in gaps. What's in this bag? Oh, gosh. I guess I had, let's see. I had a whole dozen of these. I broke one, so I forgot. I have some more, so I'll definitely keep those out because I'm sure I'm going to use them somewhere. I tend to lean toward the moderate to heavy tree. Now, if you talk to my husband, he's going to say all my trees are heavy. But if you look at some designers and how they decorate the tree, my trees are not heavily decorated. All right. Oh, I'll show you just what, of course, all right, told a little fib. So this is 1 year. I put them all in one. I'm getting more organized, but here's one from another year. I have these little gold wiggly things. I just use pipe cleaner. Well, they're pretty matted up, but I made you can see little doing, doing springs, like little springs. And I put those, and then I had pink, I think different shades of pink and some orange glitter. Actually, I don't have all the glitter that I had in there, so maybe I have another bag in there. But that's what I was saying about and they're with the gold because I mostly have gold pipe cleaners. Alright. I've got some gold stars for the treetop. I'm not sure if I'll use those or not. So it's a big mess, right? It's a big mess before you get everything done. Let me put these on the bottom. I got this pretty gold garland. I might add that to my mantelpiece, maybe with some greenery. The tree is about halfway decorated. I've filled pretty much the inner spaces so I get a lot of sparkle. in interest and depth in the tree. So I've got the ribbons, got the gold, got gold matte, gold shiny, iridescent. Those are some ones that I made several years ago. Starting with some of the white bulbs. Those will be next. So I got to go on to the whites. Now this year I do have some, well, every year I have shiny and some also flat whites, but I have most of my matte whites are in a garland, which I don't know if I want to take that garland apart. I didn't take it apart last year. I just left it. So, well, let's start to put some of our white bulbs out up. Because with the velvet bulbs, I don't know if I want these real shiny ones or not. Decisions. Let's start with some white and let's see where we end up. So here is the progress I've made on the tree. I think I got all my white ornaments. There's quite a blur on here, so let me back up a little bit. Now I've just got to go to my cream. My beige are, actually it's more like a taupe and a dark brown. And then the gold ornaments. Well, now I'm done with all the bulbs, and I'm going to put my big ornaments, start to fill the tree up with my big ornaments. We'll start with these stars. Decisions. And I was recording earlier, then I needed to put some pictures from my phone onto my computer, and then all my files were filled up, so I had to spend a couple of hours transferring files. Well, that put a little monkey wrench, but that happens in life, right? Well, do I want that right there? I want it higher. So let's put it right here. There we go. So I've got 3 of these big stars. Let's see where I wanna. Oh, so pretty. Probably on this side somewhere. Doop, doop. Kind of big, so I don't want it way on the top. Maybe right in here. It's too close to that one. There we go. It's gonna take a while. I got this box and a few others. So these big golden pie cones are some of my favorite. Actually, let's put some of these on my little pipe cleaners. Now, a few things I do want to mention that is really trending this year is, like I said, these velvet bulbs. They are really cute, and I picked a cream and a dark, I call that chocolate, dark chocolate, and then there's kind of like a coffee or kind of a chai tea look to it. And then I ordered another set from Amazon. It's just a different, like a flocked brown. It's not quite the same as my chocolate, but I couldn't get any more of those. I did get that set. Came with 4 to 6 of the dark brown and 4 to 6 of this coffee color, and then it came with 8 of the cream. So I went back to Hobby Lobby to get another one, and they didn't have any more. So that's all she wrote. So I said my husband helped hunt them down on Amazon, and these are doing good. So all right. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me and decorating my tree for 2025. You want to keep watch. If you're not following me or haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, because I'm doing a collaboration with my daughter, Hannah Lopez. She has a YouTube channel. It's called the Crafty Maven Getaway, where they do all scrapbooky things. So if you're into scrapbooking and logging your memories through scrapbooking, you'll want to check out her page, her channel. Like I said, it's the Crafty Maven Getaway, and I'll put a link in the comments there. But we're doing a collaboration today. We've started it, but I'll post it really soon. We did talked about making scrapbooks for memories for December, because there's so many fun things in December. We got our Christmas parties, we got picking out the tree with the fam, decorating the tree, Christmas programs, making cookies, and that's what our collab is. So on my channel, Back to Home with Doreen, we do a lot of cooking, things that relate to home. We do a little bit of decor, like as far as table setting and hosting and things like that. But we have this, I'll stay still for a minute. We are doing a cookie recipe from where we are doing a cookie recipe that we got when we lived in upstate New York. Now, my husband was born and raised in upstate New York, and we lived there many years raising our kids. So when we think of Christmas cookies, we think of these chocolate jumbles, and we're going to share that recipe with you. So you don't want to miss that collaboration with her, because we just do that together, and we go over some fun ideas for scrapbooking for, like I said, for the month of December. And we've got a lot of great examples on the page that you can kind of spur on your inspiration, get you inspired for making a holiday remembrance journal for December. Doesn't that sound like fun? I thought that would be fun. So make sure you go ahead and keep your eyes out for that, because I'm gonna be posting that really soon. And my hope is to get 10 videos for 10 days of Christmas videos, starting probably at least by the 14th or the 15th. Probably the 15th we'll start, so we'll see. If I can get this edited earlier, then it'll be. So what do you think? I'm loving that brown velvet. It just makes me happy. And there was quite a few. I think there's like, let's see, 12, 18, 18, 9, wait, 3, 6, 9, maybe 12. So anyway, thanks for joining me today, and happy festivities for December. Merry Christmas, and we'll be seeing you.